I'm Jason Takhtadjian with Armenian Sports News. Today I'm joined by a very special guest. His name is David Abajian. He is a three-star offensive tackle who recently committed to Kansas to play college football. First of all, David, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's great to be on here. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Let's dive right into it. You are a senior, so you're going to be playing, and you committed to Kansas for the 2024 season. You just wrapped up your high school career. First, tell us,
Yeah.
where you're from, which high school you played for, just kind of how the senior year wrapped up for you, and the highlights of your high school career.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Queens, New York. I was born in Long Island and I grew up in Queens for 7 years. After that, I moved out here to California where I'm currently at right now. I go to high school at Chaminade College Prep. Been there for all 4 years. I started on varsity all 4 years. Actually, I started for 3 years. I've been playing varsity for 4 years. I started when I was a sophomore playing offensive line. Um, just throughout my career, just Chaminade's helped me a lot with growing and just becoming the lineman I am today, and also with my parents, just being able to send me to that school. It's a private school, so it's not everybody goes to it.
Absolutely.
So
And
just
kind of tell me how you got into the sport of football. Where did that originate?
so yeah, so it was my dad. He grew up playing sports. He grew up in Connecticut, but he was originally born in Lebanon, moved out here. So yeah, he grew up playing football, and when we were young, he wanted my older brother originally to play football. So my brother was playing football, and I was out there just watching him because I was too young. So once I was of age, and my dad was like, just go out there and try football, and after that, I just loved the sport and I continued playing.
That's awesome. And let's fast forward to your senior year because that's when you're starting to look, maybe even your junior year, when you're starting to look at, what's the next step for your, career in football. And
Yeah.
before the commitment to Kansas, you did have a commitment to Oregon State. I want to first learn about that. How did that first unfold, and what changed for you to decommit and then now commit for Kansas?
Yeah. So originally when I was looking towards my commitment to Oregon State, a big thing was the coaching staff and just the opportunity to play Power Five football. And we have previous teammates from my high school that are there. So, that was just another connection. But there was certainties that were rising with the whole conference realignment, and Oregon State was one of the schools that was left behind. And just doing further research into that and how that affects the school. Me and my family saw that. One thing that could happen is the school bringing a lot less money, and salary cuts will happen with all the coaches. And I knew how good the coaching staff was at Oregon State, and they told me that there's many other jobs that they could have, but Oregon State's the place that they're at because they like it there. But I saw that if wage cuts were to happen, they wouldn't stay there, and they would end up leaving, and that all ended up happening.
I see. So, kind of, walk me through that process of when Kansas reached out, or how that interest kind of formed after that decision, seeing what was going on with Oregon State and making that quick change.
Yeah, well, Kansas was my second offer. I was first offered by San Jose State and then Kansas. So I've had a very long relationship with them. When my original commitment to Oregon State happened, they kind of just, let me off for a little bit, but then they saw that, there was certainties rising with Oregon State, so they took the chance and started to talk to me again. Just rebuild that relationship I had with them again. And originally, with my commitment to Oregon State, I also really like Kansas, and my decision between Oregon State and Kansas was very slim. So, that was also a big factor into me eventually flipping to Kansas.
Got you. And do you remember your first visit to Kansas, meeting the coaches, what that was like?
Yes, so we visited the spring game during the spring game. So when I went there, they were all super happy to see me. Having a kid out from Cali come out all the way out to Lawrence, Kansas. It's a pretty big travel. So they knew that I was genuinely interested in the school. So they welcomed me with open arms, showed me around, showed me everything that the school has to offer. It was just a great experience.
Awesome. And I looked on your Twitter or X account. It looked like on December
Yeah.
5th, you posted a photo with both the head coach and assistant coach for Kansas at
Yeah.
your place, you guys having dinner.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. You know, what that was like, how cool that was to see the head coach and assistant coach coming home, and what was on the dinner table.
Yeah, so we had some Middle Eastern food. We had the kebab rice with saffron, baba ganoush, everything else. But it was just great having them to come over, they've already met my family, but just to be in our home and us to welcome them, just talking about everything, talking about my football career, talking about how they got into coaching, just getting to learn them more, them learning me more on a personal level and just continuing to strengthen our relationship.
Right, you still got a few more
So
months until, your high school your time up in high school is over, and just tell me what you're looking forward to when it comes to making that adjustment to college. I mean, are you already making some preparations and stuff like that?
Well, I know that when it comes to college, I guess your whole life is based on a schedule. Everything that you do is based on times and everything. So I guess I try to already adjust that. I guess I go to sleep at a reasonable time. I wake up pretty early, just like college athletes do. But I'm ready for change. I'm excited for it. I know stepping into college and playing Division I football, it's more of a business rather than just enjoyment. High school football is a fun thing to do, but when you get to college, coaches and players are trying to, get money, feed their families. So, there's that aspect to it. And I'm just ready to elevate my game and just have change and have something to work towards.
Are there any players you look up to or you looked up to that you maybe emulated your game towards?
Yeah, so growing up playing football, I was originally a defensive lineman. High school is really when I flipped to offensive lineman. But growing up, I would say I looked up to JJ Watt a lot, just his work ethic and just seeing how he plays on the field, his violence, and just how he was a dominant player. I just try to model my game after that a little bit.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And, do you have any, long-term goals or short-term goals, whether it's for college, whether it's for the pros, that you have had your mind on? Anything new as far as a new goal, or just something that you've constantly, you know, had your mind on?
Well, obviously, every kid's dreams to make it to the league, so I'll say that's one of them. But also, I'm going to Kansas. I'm going there for education as well. So I have a plan to end out with either a bachelor or master degree. I'm really trying to take advantage of everything that I'm granted with the NCAA towards my scholarship, and just the ability to get my master and have it all paid for, which is a huge blessing. So I'm trying taking advantage of all that.
Do you have a major in mind?
Something in the business world, I'm going for accounting right now, but I'm not 100% sure that I'm gonna stay in accounting.
Got you. So just tell me also just how valuable or important was it, growing up in an Armenian household and being exposed to that culture, having the Middle Eastern foods around you, and obviously, being a part of that culture, how that has shaped your career, your life, how you approach, moving forward in your career, but just how you approach life.
Yeah, we've always had a chip on our shoulder just being a culture that's been nearly extinct at a point. It definitely gives me a little bit of extra motivation knowing that, whatever I do could influence a lot of others, other small Armenian kids that have goals and aspirations to make it far in sports. Seeing another Armenian do it is just like it's an empowering thing for them. It's definitely good knowing I'm representing my Armenian community and all the people out there just showing that we're still out here and we're still making names for ourselves. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's very well said, man. At this point, when it comes to going to Kansas, seeing, just the whole entire change, right? You said that it's going to be all structured and the schedule is going to be set. Um, what would you say is the one thing that maybe is exciting you the most, and one thing that you know is going to be a challenge, but you're ready to embrace?
I would say, just going in there, not really knowing what to expect. Obviously I know that, I'm going there for football, but, just a whole different type of lifestyle. I've lived in a big city my whole life, living in Queens, New York, and now I'm in LA. Moving to a small college town, that's going to be a change, just a change of pace of life and everything. So that's going to be a different thing for me, something new to experience. Living out in the Midwest, that's another. Um, so yeah, that all that, also just being a college student and being a college athlete and managing both, which can be pretty stressful at times and pretty hectic.
That's awesome. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
there's one more thing I want to ask, just to end this off on. Committing to a college program, whether it be Kansas or any college program, is a big deal. And I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, just do you remember that day when you committed, the way your family reacted? Just kind of, where were you at? What was the kind of situation there? Relaying that information to your mom, your dad. Just tell me what that was like.
Yeah, so throughout my whole recruiting process, taking these official visits, it was all a really nice experience, having for the official visits, having everything paid for, going out there and just having a great time with my family. When it actually came decision time for my original commitment to Oregon State, I did it on July 4th, which also happens to be my mother's birthday. So, that was just a little thing, a little nice treat that I did. Um, but yeah, we kind of knew, when I was doing all my official visits, that I was leaning a little more towards Oregon State. So, when I told them that, I think Oregon State's where I want to go, they weren't too surprised. But of course, they were really supportive. They were really happy for me. It was all a dream at a point. Now I'm turning into a reality. So they were happy for me.
All right, David. I think that's all the time I got, and I'm really excited to see, just what happens in the 2024 season, and what you're going to be doing in Kansas and beyond. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.